are live. This is This Movie Sucks, the podcast where we watch bad movies so you don't have to. I'm James Fry.
I am Rage Ledbetter.
And this week we are watching the 1989 classic, No Holds Barred. I believe this one is 89, correct?
Yep.
And this stars Hulk Hogan, Kurt Fuller, and Tommy Tiny Lister. Yeah.
You remember him from Friday as Debo.
Yeah, he was...
Or the president in The Fifth Element.
He was a lot more menacing as Debo than he was in this movie, I'm just going to say.
That was hard to take him serious.
Well, I mean, when you have a Z just shaved into your forehead. When you have a Z shaved into your forehead, it's... it's either, you're not going to take that person seriously or going to take them very seriously because Zorro's in town.
Yeah.
A little bit about this movie. This was the WWE's first time dipping their toes into anything related to Hollywood. It was their first movie. I remember just reading that they originally had gotten the script for this, and Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan didn't like it, so they just spent 72 hours straight in a hotel room rewriting the script and customizing it so it would fit Hogan's persona. And, it really shows because this is a movie that the main character, Rip, played by Hulk Hogan, is just a more moralized Hogan, I guess. I mean, it's just Hogan to a T, but a more accentuated version of the character he played while he was wrestling.
Yeah, this was his first major film foray since Rocky III. So, yeah, about a 7-year lapse between Rocky III and this movie.
All right, and this was... this was a theatrical release, correct? This wasn't a straight to video?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater with my cousin.
So what were the crowds like for this movie? I mean, was wrestling that big of a business as it was today, to where the fans would actually come out to see a movie just because it had a wrestler in it?
Jimmy, I only remember him and I in the auditorium. Right? Let's put it that way. Wrestling fans at the time were used to watching it at home, usually on Saturday nights. David Paymer, on to be an Academy Award nominee later. Special appearance, Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura, the governor himself. Oh, and that just opening scene where you just see Rip just snarling as spit's flying from his mouth.
This looks like a Beethoven movie. Look at all that slobber.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Still to this day, doing all the same things.
Yeah. I mean, it was exactly the same... It was the same exact character. The only thing difference is maybe the name and the color scheme. Instead of the red and yellow, he's just walking blue and white.
Music's by Jim Johnston. Jim Johnston did he's done the music for the WWE probably since '85. He did the soundtrack for this movie too, but yeah. When I was a kid, wrestlers didn't come out to fanfare or after the success of Rocky III, Eye of the Tiger became Hulk Hogan's theme song. That movie, Rocky III, exposed wrestlers to a whole new audience, and that was when wrestling became big business. After that, Saturday morning cartoon show, the toy line.
Oh my God!
What is Ventura wearing? That's like a white Stevie Wonder thing, circa late '70s going there.
Yeah, he was just a decade late on that one.
Mean Gene Okerlund.
And now you got Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt like he does and everything.
Yeah. And his name is Rip in this movie. The Ripper.
Oh, look at that. Look at that hand sign. He doesn't know if he wants to do the hang loose or the thumbs up. He's just kind of in between. He's like, I think this is what the kids like, brother.
That was pretty good, Jim.
Oh, I do a much better Macho Man.
I think everybody does. Everybody loves doing the Macho Man.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get him, Rip.
What was it? The Hulkamaniacs. That was Hulk's fan base. And Macho Man used to call them, Pukamaniacs.
Yeah,
right?
the Pukamania.
Yeah, he had a thing with the puke.
The cream always rises to the top, Hogan.
Z.
Now, it's funny because the character of Zeus, they had built up They had introduced him after the movie came out, and they built him up in the WWF for the longest time. They were actually looking at, or they were no,
I
they
think it
brought
was
him
like
into the
for months.
WWF for a few months to promote it, and he did tag teams with Macho Man Randy
Yes,
Savage,
yes.
and they were going to end up, building it up if it was popular enough to where Hogan would face off against Zeus in WrestleMania 5. And, I mean, Tommy isn't a wrestler. He wasn't a trained wrestler
Right.
whatsoever. And I'm kind of glad because if they hadn't done that and if they had originally gone with Hogan fighting Zeus in the main event, it would have been a lackluster main event. Instead of WrestleMania 5, we got the Mega Powers Explode, and you had Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. In fact, for those tag teams, they played to Tiny Lister's strengths. A lot of punching and throwing. He didn't have to learn all these wrestling holds. That's where, with the tag team, Macho Man would come in and do all the fancy stuff, while Tiny Lister was to provide menace. And I remember an interview where he had said that he went into the audition bare chested. He worked out, got pumped, went in bare chested. In the boots he wears in the movie and what he had worn promoting the film in the arena and things like that, he had them made. I think he said at Chambers, which is like the go-to place for footwear in LA, or it was back in the day. And he had those boots made, and he went in pretty much as Zeus. I mean, they're pretty much sold on him. But then the more and more he learned about the film, he was less interested to be grappling around and holding on to a sweaty man. He wasn't quite sold on it. And
Even with that paint on eyebrow?
even with that paint on eyebrow and a half. People, oh my gosh, man, I've seen unibrows, but never unibrow, but yes, it's an eyebrow and a half. And he credits Vince McMahon as being a very shrewd negotiator because Vince McMahon deposited money into his into his bank account, something like $75,000, and he deposited into his bank account. Tiny Lister had bills coming up, including his mortgage payment. He had all these things coming up, and they call him with Hulk Hogan on the line. And it's like, so are we doing this movie? Are you going to? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. And it's like, well, we've given you the money. I'm just going to have to take that $75,000 out of your account. And so Tiny Lister's like, okay, yeah, I think we can do this movie.
I mean, that is a good strategy.
And there's Kurt Fuller, always playing a jerk.
And he's always a crooked
Kramer.
businessman. So, yeah, him too. I remember him, he really stood out in Wayne's World, just as like the evil businessman.
Yeah, he was also the same year that this came out. He was in Ghostbusters 2 as the mayor's assistant.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was a jerk in that as well. In fact, I saw those two movies like within months of each other. It's like, hey, that's the same guy. I think that's all he does.
Yeah, Kurt Fuller is known for just playing either bureaucratic or corporate scumbags. And he's known in this film for just chewing the scenery.
Oh, and how?
Acting wise, he's probably the best thing this movie's got going on for it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy, he's bacon and a half in this movie.
It's funny, like the whole plot is that like he just wants to buy the rights to rip. He just wants to buy the likeness rights for his television station, but does nothing to do with the federation that he belongs to. I'm like, it's not how any of this works.
Yeah, wouldn't that make you more money? Look at all the people you would have under you making money for you. Now the guy on the left, standing right there in a gray suit, brief, very brief at the beginning of Ghostbusters. He's the librarian.
Oh, really?
The manager. When Venkman asked the librarian if she was menstruating right now, and he's like, what's that got to do with it? And that's the same guy. I've heard of mustache twirling villains, but geez, this guy, if that's the case, his fingers be getting a real workout. He is great in this role. As corny and hammy as it is so much fun. Can't take him seriously as a villain, but he sure is memorable. I like his strut.
Now, see, say what you will about, Kurt's folks, but the very next scene, they have Hulk Hogan there in his office. So, like, he's got some good people working with him.
Yeah. And Kurt is a tall guy. As you can see, he's almost...
Oh, Hogan's like, what, 6'5"?
Yeah, but Kurt Fuller's around the same height.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Man, this is the most 80s businessman office I've ever seen.
Yeah. He almost reminds me, Kurt Fuller, almost reminds me of Larry Drake in his Darkman role.
Yeah.
Durant.
I always liked him from Dr. Giggles.
Yeah. Might
One
have
of the
to
most...
do that.
Oh, Dr. Giggles? Oh, that's a bad movie for sure.
Yeah.
But one of the most underrated slasher flicks, just because of all the medical puns.
Yeah, I think a lot of those were off the cuff.
Kurt Fuller's making a big mistake. Hulk Hogan's only got his word in his balls, and he don't break him for nobody.
And, Hulk gets away with the porn star mustache. 70s porn star mustache. Even in this state. I mean, he really does. He looks like a Viking almost there.
Oh, yeah. Now, see, if they would ever have made, like, an Avengers movie in the 80s, Hulk Hogan would have been a great Thor.
Definitely. 90s, it would have given that role to Dolph Lundgren. You don't touch the Hulk Hogan boobs.
Oh, don't do it.
24-inch pythons.
Hulkamania is going to run wild on you.
You jock ass.
You jock ass. Look at Hogan's face. Jock ass. I'm not going to take that from a nerd, brother.
I love the crazed Hogan face.
Uh-oh.
That
he's
money
going to make
doesn't
it swallow.
mean anything, does it? Eat those words. Eat those words.
Oh, this is like the cringiest scene ever. Where they both just start laughing. Yeah, we're both still laughing. It's been like, at least 20 seconds. Oh, and now he's going to make him eat it. Take you where you can stick that money. And then he goes up to threaten his corporate accountants. And he gives him the hang loose. Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to assault you. Hang loose. Have a great day. And here's the limo scene.
Now, this is probably the best scene in the entire movie. Oh, you missed your turn. Now, you could see, he's not good Hulk Hogan right now. He's not wearing the white and blue. He's wearing the red and black. He's the kind of Hulk Hogan that commits assault.
Yeah. This is. And what the hell kind of gloves are those? They aren't even gloves. It's like laced up. What? Fingerless laced up.
Man, they really planned ahead by having, this limo with this reinforced steel windows.
Yeah.
Just cover everything.
Yeah.
So they were pre-plotting to kill Hulk Hogan if he turned down their television contract. Oh man, think about how strong that leg's got to be. He's just shifted that entire car just by kicking the door. It's like 2,000 pounds.
Look at the boots.
I'm gonna break your TV in your bar. That's just so cheesy, but it's not as. It's gonna get cheesier. It's gonna get cheesier. Man, this is the worst limo driver anyway. He's just slamming through everything.
Yeah, this is definitely 80s action movie territory. Hey, isn't that a set of RoboCop?
Yeah, looks like it.
Got the generic thugs waiting in the abandoned warehouse. Not gonna go out the door, are you, Hogan? Da-da-da!
He just exploded through the top of that limousine. He exploded through You ain't doing that just with vitamins, brother.
Picks the guy up by the hair.
And headbutts.
That guy was a regular. I used to see him. He was a regular generic stuntman thug.
Why would you crawl up on top of this limo after Hulk Hogan? He's so sweaty.
When he does the bug eyes, pursed lips, pretty good choreography there. Got some speed. Wow!
Just punched him through
that's
that
an uppercut.
wall.
That's a Mortal Kombat uppercut.
Oh, that's a finisher for sure.
Finish him.
He just did a huge line of cocaine in the back of that.
He looks at when he
limousine, man.
When he does the bug eyes and pursed lips.
Oh yeah. Right through the windshield.
There's the bug eyes again.
Right there. Whoa, with that generic looking Ray Liotta. Oh man, this is like the worst choreographed fight scene ever. Like 3 of his kicks just didn't even hit him in the face. You can see the blatant space where there's no contact being made. Oh, he's not done yet.
Here
Oh, the
comes
limo
the
driver.
best
He
part.
looks terrified. Yeah, this is the best line of the entire movie right here. Like this whole sequence is just it makes the entire movie.
Yep, rips the door off, pulls the guy out.
Oh, he's pooping himself.
He's dancing.
What's that smell?
I love that.
What? Dookie. Dookie. Oh, dude. Just those facial expressions are phenomenal, man. He just looks like he's like trying to pass his own big dookie and he just quite can't, you know?
Yeah, he does do the constipated well. And, you know, I'd seen that movie.
Man,
you know what? I've only seen this movie maybe twice, but never forgot it. My cousin and I used to laugh about it, make fun of it. And during all these years, I had not realized it, just discovered, or it was pointed out to me that, yeah, that limo driver does resemble Richard Belzer. And I don't know if that was an accident, as at the time the lawsuit was ongoing, where Hogan had put Belzer in a sleeper hold during his talk show. And at the insistence of Belzer, no less. And yeah, that lawsuit was going on because Belzer got like 7 stitches out of it.
7 stitches isn't a lot, though. I mean, how you gonna ask the Hulk to put you in a headlock, and then because he puts you in a headlock, try and sue him? Oh man, now see, this is some cringe-worthy stuff right here. Every time Hogan looks at her, he just looks at her like she's a piece of meat.
Joan Severance, very beautiful woman. 80s, definitely an 80s staple.
Oh yeah, well I mean, look at the size of those shoulder pads on her sport jacket. I like how even like when he's going to like a board meeting with like his PR people, he's still just wearing his spandex outfit. And now we cut to a dinner scene where he's taking this lovely lady out for dinner. But is it a restaurant or is it a church? I'm not quite understanding what's going on here. Like, did they just decide to rent out this church for the restaurant scene?
I gotta admit, I have never seen anything. Wow, now that's a suit.
Well, that's white on white on white. Man, that suit is so white it vote for Donald Trump.
Jeez, he's so broad. It's like a walking movie screen.
Now, see, I also love how, like, the waiter here is just, like, a caricature of what Hulk Hogan believed, like, a French maitre d' would be like. Because all he does is just, like, hit on her and try and make Hulk Hogan seem like he's, ill-equipped to take her out because he wants to order a hamburger or whatever the dialogue was.
Now, the messed up thing here is, in this suit and with the hair, Hulk hasn't got a forehead. He's got like a 6 head. Man, I mean, that thing that reaches way back.
I mean, after a while, you just got to think of like, why would he still dedicate himself, even years later, why dedicate yourself to the long hair if you're bald on top?
Being a wrestling movie, there's no subtlety here. So the classism issue comes in as the maitre d' is the snob, and the kitchen staff are the average Joes.
Yep,
They all love Rip. They watch wrestling. Now they take the maitre d' to staff for patronizing Rip.
A hero of the common man. Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan. Oh, there we go. Now the story's picking up. Now we're in this underground dive bar where they just do this bare knuckle boxing UFC style.
I have no doubt in my mind this inspired the introduction of Wolverine in the first X-Men movie.
Oh yeah, where they're doing the cage fight?
Yeah. Wow, there's some big boys in here. And I don't mean just like muscle big boys. They come in suits, in an attaché case.
Yeah, they stick out like a sore thumb.
That guy, he was so good at playing, not just Fuller. Fuller is great at playing a weasel, but the other guy is to put up on peon.
Oh yeah, the peon to the weasel.
Yeah. Big hair 80s.
Yeah, now see, this is more what your common man wrestling fans look like. So because they're wearing suits, she just automatically assumes they're from the gay bar.
Well, in this establishment,
You had a bunch of guys wrestling each other in a back room, like, no, pretty sure the gay bar is right here.
yeah, it's down the street. It's called the Blue Oyster. And he's always got that look of kind of a constipation on his face, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everyone in this movie looks constipated. Oh, and there he is.
That's Peter Dinklage?
That is Peter Dinklage, the dwarf in the cage.
Barely recognized.
Well, I mean, this would have probably been, almost 30 years ago at this point, but it was his first uncredited on-screen appearance.
A lot of biting in this. This predates Mike Tyson and his ear-biting controversy.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Maybe that's where he picked it up, because Mike Tyson is no holds barred.
Yeah, he might like this movie a lot. See, look at his face. He keeps making that same, oh my gosh, something stinks face.
Well, I'm sure there is a variety of bad smells in this bar. Oh, look at the guy with the mongoloid shoes.
That's, what's his face? He was a wrestler, too. Briefly.
Yeah, he didn't,
Hanson, right?
Yeah, he didn't last too long in the WWE. I want to say he was only there for like maybe 6 months or so. Oh.
Well, he's a good sleazy character in this. Well, if it's a WWE production, stock it full of people that are.
Oh yeah, I even like how the chicks have chewing tobacco in their mouths in this fucking bar.
Yeah, that's cinematic shorthand. You're lowbrow if you chewing tobacco. Or you're a very common man, even if you're a baseball player and a common man.
Now, see, the one thing I really wish they would have done is allowed for...
Why would you have a midget in the cage?
Oh, no, this is a strange kink bar, I'm sure.
I guess.
I don't know, like, I really wish this scene just would have had, like, cameos by a who's who of wrestlers back then. Like, because like, it's one scene, why couldn't you have, like, the Iron Sheik or Rowdy Piper or Randy Savage all do a cameo, in this kind of backwoods.
Maybe it was contractual things. Now I'm not sure, but I think that guy that's fighting in the ring, that might be Jeep. Jeep played Bane in Batman and Robin.
Really?
Yeah, because he just did I know he's in it, and he just did that muscle flex.
I mean, that would make sense. They're around the same stature.
He was a big boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and he's just going to shotgun an entire keg of beer.
That role's a bit bigger than I remember. I didn't even remember the midget in the cage.
Honestly, if I ever, like, met Peter Dinklage at, like, a con, he's doing autographs, I would love to have him autograph that still from this movie, where he's holding up the sign that says smile. He's just got that big cigar in his mouth. Because that would be a deep cut. Not too many people would reference No Hold Barred to him.
Now, the funny thing is, as cheesy, as cheap as this movie is, the summer it came out, came in number 2, right behind Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
This was dethroned by Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Last Crusade was in first place. This was in second place.
Wow.
And
this has no. This doesn't even need to be. It shouldn't even have been in the top 10 after Last Crusade.
No, the timing was just right. It was summer, and let's face it, the summer movie market. Yeah. Well, basically, anyone that was going to see it saw it within its first 2 weeks. So it's not like it played for months and months.
Right.
Oh
right.
my gosh, man. I remember going to Comiskey and seeing that. I've been to a few bars and seen that. That's the grotesque bathroom. But
Not enough bleach in the world.
yeah.
And they just have the random Rottweiler in this bathroom.
Now the movie made back its money because it was like a $8 million movie. Which, when you consider, it's like, okay, whose salary? I guess as far as salaries, Hogan probably would have got the most, but it made like around 15, 16 million.
Wait, this movie made money.
This movie made money.
Wow. I would not have expected that this movie would have made money. I would expect this movie would have not only bombed, but it should have condemned Hulk Hogan from going to Hollywood again.
Sorry, but the reason you're still hearing about it after 30 years, and the reason Hulk Hogan still was making movies, dun dun dun, because this movie made money. You ever make fun of a guy and turns out he's on the toilet behind? Gosh, he was a horrible, horrible character. Oi, look at the haircut.
And I think that guy's a WWE Hall of Famer. Just grabs these guys in a headlock, checks out their junk, laughs, and leaves.
But yeah, so this movie made money because it knew the particular audience it was going after. It made no apologies. Popcorn movie, no depth.
No depth, no character development, no story.
I think, although they tried to, the personal drama with his brother, Hulk Hogan's brother, in this, they made a half-hearted attempt.
I like how this guy is just eating rocks. The tough guy challenge.
Man, see, look at over the top too. Electric Boogaloo.
No, they should never make a sequel to this movie. Unless, of course, like they possibly had The Rock star in it, but then it'd be a reboot. The Rock only does reboots these days.
Oh my gosh, and the budget would be enormous if he's in it.
Oh,
Battle of the Tough Guys. Yeah, this movie basically paved the way for the careers of The Rock, Dave Bautista.
Well, you know what? Also, what this movie really does is it paves the way for the UFC, because if you look at the ring that they have, it is an octagon. It's not your standard wrestling ring. And what's interesting is that you have a rival television company that wants to have something that's rivals wrestling. So they create a more brutal version of it in an octagon, which is funny because that's exactly what would happen, about a decade later with the UFC? Because once the UFC started, I mean, that's when I dropped off wrestling and started watching the UFC. Because, I mean, it's real and there's more skill involved. It's not just spectacle.
That is correct. If you remember the movie poster, no rings,
No,
but there's rings.
Ring.
No rules. You got to
Now, why would the CEO of this company
Thank you.
be, announcing this bar fight that they're throwing? Like, wouldn't they just
Wouldn't they hire an announcer?
Not only that, but wouldn't they have gotten a better place to host it as opposed to this backwoods ass bar?
Thank you. I'm sure if they did get this bar to host it, I have no doubt in my mind that they stiffed the owner of that bar.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, $100 is reasonable for us to rent this for the night. In fact, $50.
Even here, I really wish they just would have had, a montage of all these different fights with all the WWE talent. Like, you definitely could have gotten Andre to come out here.
Oh, and there, such a dramatic entrance. You thought Wesley Snipes' Blade entrance was dramatic.
How do you know he's a badass? He's the one surrounded by light and fog.
I can't put my arms down.
Stance.
I can't put my arms down. Oh, yeah.
He's got that super wide stance. He just grabs that chick by the face.
My cousin and I, we laughed about that. Dropped her in the peanut barrel.
Why would you let this guy participate?
And he just laughs. Look at the eyes. It's like a spaghetti western.
Look at that unibrow.
And I have no idea what animal that's supposed to be as the skull of his neck was.
Oh, it's got to be like a squirrel or a raccoon.
Maybe a rat. You notice his shirt is a sleeveless prison shirt. Man, that whole bar's got to be funky.
Oh, that whole bar's got to smell like a foot.
And him too, man. A foot is being nice.
Just shoving people out of the way for no reason.
This guy has contempt for humanity. Jumps in the ring and just starts beating the hell out of people.
He just like knocks him out with one punch. Nothing hurts him.
You are an annoyance. Oh, Tiny chews the scenery perfectly here. Look at it.
Just throws him out into the crowd.
Hey, he cleared some space there. Gold's Gym.
And Rip's watching ominously.
I'd watch. That'd be hilarious, man. This is on tonight.
Wow, look at that tiny, tiny television they're watching it
Yeah,
on.
the guy's rich.
And he's still got a tiny, tiny television.
Why are you watching on that? The Neanderthal. He must have been available at the time. That's why his part was so big.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
those shoes and socks. But I'm not proud of it. It's old trainer cliche.
Oh.
He killed the guy in the ring.
He killed a kid, and I couldn't trade him anymore after that.
Yeah, he's got to think about
I gave up trading until I found Rip. Man, for this guy being a wrestler, he just doesn't do any wrestling whatsoever.
Yeah, a lot of critics didn't like this movie for some reason.
For every reason, I would imagine.
Look at a dude standing back there. It looks like a video game character. The guy in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like one of those random...
Lots of baby oil. You almost sounded like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Ex-con Zeus, thriller or killer? Oh, a little bit of both, I reckon. I like how he's like the center of like the sports page, even though this isn't a sport. It never really has been. But like, what have you ever like picked up like, the Chicago Tribune or the Washington Post went to the sports section and they have a big centerpiece on professional wrestling.
Oh my gosh, all the negative feedback. Kids having nightmares.
I would like to read some of the reviews that came out on this movie at the time. I bet they were not kind.
You'll have to look them up. Hilarious. Where are they? You know what? This also is before the video game boom. If you notice, a lot of 80s movies inspired those versus games, those hand-to-hand combat games.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because if you notice, the environments changed. This is like Street Fighter before Street Fighter. You got the rough, rundown bar. You got the Foundry. The Foundries were big in the 80s. I don't know what the hell that was about. Flames, sparks, greasy floors.
Well, I mean, also think about it. Like, this television company, they had their first big battle in a bar, and now they're just at a steel mill.
Yeah.
They're not really worried about ticket sales, are they?
That's cheap.
The one with the wrench?
Yeah. That's cheap. Look at his arms. Jeez. Yeah, that's cheap. That's Bane. And Zeus is wearing like Bennett's outfit from the movie Commando. Got that chain link shirt. Wonder where Kurt Fuller is now.
Kurt Fuller, I assume he's playing a CEO in some B movie.
I'll have to look for sympathetic character roles he's played. Wow, you know what? This is so messed up. He's using a camcorder to record the match off TV. It's their studio. They should have the masters. Why?
I think he's just going through a phase. He just brings it with him everywhere. He's like, look, guys, I can get good shots, too. Of course you can, Kevin. You just, yeah, bring it along, sure.
Hanging out in the office.
Man, yeah, smashing his face into a locker.
That was a real hit, right. I want to know where he got those wrist cuffs, man.
Right, he went from like a convict having a full costume in one fight.
Now he's in a music video. Look at it. This is like where they would film a music video.
You know what?
The costumes.
Honestly, I wouldn't doubt if this director has some experience doing music videos, just the way like all the shots are set up.
Yeah, because this is his first and last movie.
Is it?
Yeah, a lot of TV work, music videos. Yeah, I'm sure.
I can see how this put a bad taste in his mouth working on movies. I would not want to have had to work on this movie.
Now I can laugh, but if I saw that in front of me, I'd probably turn around and walk the opposite direction.
Oh, I'd just shake my head like, "What are you doing, guy?"
It's like, I'm good. I'll see you later.
Did you break your corrective lenses for that whole thing with the eye you got going on there?
Before Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker's classy about it though. Debo is not.
You know,
Hey, I know we were gonna go on a date. Mind if I bring my brother along?
If he looks familiar to you, he plays on that show Supernatural. He's the devil.
Oh, really?
He's Lucifer on Supernatural. Hogan's younger brother in this. And I used to see him on Lost when I was watching Lost.
Yeah, he is the guy on Lost.
Ending, I'm like 5 seasons I gave to that show. Well, that's another story. But
they just wrote themselves into a corner. Like there was so much anticipation. Like it's hard to actually close out half the stuff that they did. And that's my biggest concern about J.J. Abrams on Star Wars. He knows how to set up a great story, but he doesn't know how to finish one out.
I remember her from Action Jackson. She usually had a small part in a lot of late 80s movies. Don't remember her name. Darn it. She's a waitress in this, but she was one of Whoopi Goldberg's sisters in Ghost. And she provides the exposition for Action Jackson and the villains in his movie.
Yeah, it's always a
setup. Who the hell rips off a friggin' rinky-dink breakfast restaurant?
How do these guys not see the largest man in the room rip a stool out of the ground and throw it at him?
Hope you're gonna pay for all that. This probably costs the same amount as what they were gonna rob.
My insurance deductible's 4 times this amount, Hulk Hogan.
Pies.
He's just throwing pies at him. Like, what a horrible action scene.
And the guy doesn't run out the door. Yeah, run across the bar. There you go. I've always wanted to do that to someone.
Oh, just run him across, yeah.
Run him across a bar.
Dude, he's broken like 4 stools, 2 tables,
damn,
countless dishes.
I think the one hit would have been enough. Yeah. Man, okay.
Hogan, you've prevented the robbery 3 times over.
He's
just having fun assaulting these random criminals. He's like, yeah.
That's going to be our new greeting.
Battery.
Oh, look at that. She cops the few.
Well, he's consoling her.
The common people love Rip. Don't you get it?
And criminals fear him.
Yeah. There's me in 89.
Ha! Did you have that little... Did you have that little side up the part?
From time to time. Either that or the shag in the back.
I can see the shag in the back. Oh, this is a mistake. We have to share a room now? Oh, that was no mistake. Hogan called ahead of time. He's just like, we're supposed to have these 2 rooms. Why don't you put them into one? Now, see, this scene has like some of like the cringiest material in this movie. Because like... Oh, he had to hang up like the blanket between the bed.
Oh, yeah. All the sitcom stuff. Got to separate the room. Rip, may I ask a question? What the hell are you wearing?
Oh, I'm just, making a wall out of sheets and nothing but my underwear. I like how they're like both like trying to listen in on each other as they do their oral hygiene. Like that's not symbolic for something.
I like the Temple of Doom montage much better.
Yeah.
Showing what's going on in each other's room. That was fun.
Yeah, that one that was a little bit more thought out than this one because they actually had chemistry in that movie. Yeah. Hulk Hogan does not have chemistry with her whatsoever.
Although Spielberg had more chemistry with Capshaw than Ford. But
oh, and she comes out wearing her lingerie.
And look what he's wearing. How could you look at that? Yeah. Nothing suggestive about that at all.
He's just still looking at her like, yeah, you're going to be a notch on my belt, baby.
And probably vice versa. She climbed the ladder, the corporate ladder, I'm sure.
Oh my God, look at those granny panties. Holy hell! How would anybody find that sexy?
The frills, not the size, but this was
The
before the thong.
frills.
Yeah, this was before Thong City.
Well, I mean, all the frills, man. It looks like my grandma's doilies.
Right. But grandmas may have worn them that wide, but not with. They were very perfunctory. If you ever wound up looking for your clothes in the laundry and find your grandma's drawers, you're like, hey. No.
It's more frill than panty. How can I convince her to have sex with me now? Oh, yeah. I'm going to get oiled up. Get really, really oiled up and do a bunch of decline push-ups off the bed. Just with the pure thrust of my arms, I'm going to wake her up.
And it's like, why wouldn't you do that on the floor?
And here's the worst, the grimiest scene in the whole movie right there.
My cousin my cousin and I were dying. Wait, what the hell's going on? And then...
Like, hey, I'm just oiled up, doing push-ups in the moonlight. Nothing too big about it, just saying. Look how much motion my arms can create. Imagine what my hips could do.
Yeah. Put her in the... Now, earlier when I was talking about the fact this movie made money, unfortunately, due to all the distribution fees, the money it made, it broke even. It broke even, so it appeared that the movie was a success enough that enough people heard about it. Wrestling fans know of it, but no, it wasn't a blockbuster because, it was like, wow, you create a project, you make money from it, and it goes right back into production.
Right. Well, it's not like this movie's really found a fan base on video or DVD either.
It's got a fan base, a very small one, but in fact, it's a multiple one. It's either diehard wrestling fans, diehard Hogan fans, or diehard goofy 80s action movies fans.
No, there's a lot of crossover there.
It's a very niche movie.
Yeah.
It hasn't got broad appeal. Let's put it that way.
No, not at all.
If people love it, it's for one of those three reasons. If you love bad movies, because it's so goofy, it's an unintentional comedy to me.
Oh, so she was sent there to seduce Hogan. But now she likes him, so she can't go through with it.
Yeah, we've never seen that before. Wow, he threw himself into that backhand, didn't he?
Yeah, he put his whole body weight into it. Honestly, everyone looks so constipated. I really feel like they should have went with X-Lax as a corporate sponsor on this one. Now, the girl that you like, she just came to you after she had been physically assaulted. And if you're Hulk Hogan, you're going to crack jokes. Because, humor always brings levity to traumatic situations.
And now it leads to foreplay. Now, I still think it's kind of goofy that she went to him instead of the cops. Oh, and look at the mood killer right there. They're about to get on. Look at the way he's looking at them.
She doesn't want justice. She wants him to get even in the ring.
That eyebrow thing.
I don't know whose idea that was. Give him a unibrow that's crudely painted on. Like, they could have given him, a fake unibrow. They could have, put the little bit patch in between so he actually had a unibrow, but no. Oh, man, now just to show what a great guy Hulk Hogan is, let's just surround him by a bunch of multi-ethnic children.
Then a helicopter comes in. Helicopters, another big thing from the 80s.
Rip them. That is the worst catchphrase ever. I mean, like, you could have done rip off. Rip it up. Like, I don't know, anything. Oh.
Get ripped.
So he chooses to wait until he's at a charity event surrounded by children to challenge him.
Look at this. This is another musical video right there. Look at that. Come out of the smoke. Look at Kurt Fuller. Look at it. They got their sunglasses on.
Oh, yeah. They look like they're about to drop the baddest rap album of the year. God, look at that belt buckle.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine
ridiculous.
For that? That's bigger than a WWE belt buckle right there.
Right? Why do you want to be champion when you have a belt buckle that big?
Now, the funny thing is, The way he was walking out of the fog towards him, I could see that as one of those sideshow deluxe figures or statues.
Yeah. I mean, the way he walks in this movie in general, just like with that super wide base, he walks like he has hemorrhoids. Oh man,
really
they're in the stare off. Who's gonna snarl more?
Are we gonna do this right here, right now?
Right here, right now at the Special Olympics. No, I get my justice in the ring, brother.
It would be a Special Olympics that no one would forget ever.
No, that would go down as the only year to really be at the Special Olympics. The year Hulk Hogan fought this random dude who showed up in a helicopter.
Yeah, didn't pull up in a car. Showed up in a helicopter.
Oh, he didn't want to. He didn't want to fight him. But now he's got to fight him for the kids. Now, see, this is definitely something Hulk Hogan added with his creative control. Like when he gets challenged to be surrounded by a bunch of kids.
And he's trying, but
he's trying so hard. He's trying so hard.
Oh, wow. White pants. I remember those.
Pants isn't something I'd want to be white. I feel like I would ruin those real quick.
Ask that limo driver.
Oh, he sent more goons on her. Man, and they're going to kidnap his girlfriend?
Check out that chopper. Just need Born to Be Wild.
I like how he just shows up in time as he's about to rape his girlfriend.
Don't worry. He's going to get the payback for her right here. Rip him. Everything's got his
fake logo. Even the license plate says rip him.
Yeah, and right here.
Wow.
This is the rip him right here.
Whoa.
Motorcycle up the wazoo.
And he gives him his, hang loose. And then drives him into the tree. That was such a poorly filmed scene right there. Like, everything about that, the editing was so sloppy. All I'm saying is you should probably get a new job if your boss sends goons to rape you.
Yeah, it makes you sorry you didn't go to the police.
She doesn't want justice. She wants revenge in the ring.
Oh, is that how it works?
In this movie, apparently. Man, this movie just made light of some super, super dark material. Oh, but where's this third fight going to take place? They already did the steel mill.
Dude, why would you even go? This guy has it in for your brother. Why would you go anywhere where he is? And why isn't that dude fighting back?
Yeah, he's just taking that beating. Yeah, they didn't really explain, why Rip's brother decided he's going to go to this underground, fight.
Don't you think he'd be a target? He's gone crazy.
I like how this TV executive, Kurt Fuller, he's not above going after Rip's family members and girlfriend in, super personal ways in his ratings war.
Yeah, I mean, you got you got ratings, didn't you?
Yeah, he has his entire own show now. Why, once again, the villain, you don't understand their motivation beyond your money. But, yeah, it seems a little overboard to go after people's families.
Yeah, he's more like a mafia kingpin than a TV exec. Plus, if you think about it, it's wait a minute. If his new all no holds barred show is a success, Zeus is his moneymaker. So Zeus is his Rip.
Yeah, pretty much.
And anyone else participating in the show is his other talent. You know? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he's got his own WWE himself.
I mean, granted, instead of auditoriums, they're fighting in warehouses, but
public restrooms.
Yeah, public restrooms and such.
Playgrounds.
Yeah, it's just one of those oversights that this movie had.
Now, if he were to go on trial, this is premeditated right here. He pretty much knows what the odds are of something happening. Look at him, just the way he's looking. He did this on purpose. And this kid really thought he could do something against this guy.
He just like doesn't like nothing about that scream was intimidating. He just like shrieked.
Gets out of the hole. He's a squirrely little guy. What he lacks in Rip's mask, he was making up for in speed. Look at the black dude like laughing. Ha ha.
No, he's not done yet. You got to send a message to Rip.
Look at him. Even the stance, the heavy breathing. Oh, this movie should have been called Over the Top. What is that?
Over the Top, yeah. God, look at how bug-eyed he is.
This is all very sexual.
Oh, yeah. I can't tell if he's like, if that look is evil or horny.
Look at that. Doesn't just open the door.
Rips it off its handles.
This guy's got an anger management problem. Rips open doors, rips off speakers.
Right, so you show up, he's not there, so he just starts throwing stuff around, breaking it, wrecking up the joint.
Look at that. More sexualized. And plus he's got posters of Rip up everywhere. I'd be thinking I've got a stalker.
Yeah, no, there's something really like weird, homoerotic and stalkerish about this whole scenario. He's like, you wouldn't work for me, so I want you to fight the guy who's working for me. Then we'll see who you're working for.
More music video stuff.
God, it reminds me of when the Ultimate Warrior returned to the WCW after a huge extent, and he was like just haunting Hulk Hogan. You'd always see like little stuff like that, like he'd like appear behind two-way mirrors and stuff. Everyone thought Hogan was going crazy.
I'm coming to get you. That's like a 20, 30-pound weight.
So they just built this entire gym setup so Rip could destroy it.
I guess well, if the studios got stuff like that, they shouldn't even worry about, man.
I mean, they got money to do stuff like that. You shouldn't be having all your events in like, warehouses and steel mills. Like you should maybe go to like, the Civic Center or an auditorium. Wow, what a perfect shot on that camera. Just like threw it across the room javelin style, hit it right in the lens.
So this guy suffers from sin of pride. Oi, he's looked better. What kind of gloves? What were the point? Yeah, his gloves are like boots. They've got laces across the back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe kind of like, if you throw in a punch, you can give him a little rope burn. I mean, why would you ever have to tighten up your glove, though?
I don't know. I love it.
Now, out of every movie Hulk Hogan is in, I feel like this is his most sincere attempt at acting.
Yeah.
When he starts, like, crying and blubbering like a baby. Because, like, they're real tears.
Yeah. I wonder where he had to go for it. What he had to remember. The day he ran out of baby oil. I actually
the day that hairline just started to recede back.
I miss
this
you.
This is it, brother.
I miss you, Scalp. Yeah.
I mean, like, he's really going there.
Yeah.
You never see that from, like, big, just big action stars in general. Like, I can't remember the last time I've seen Arnold actually go there on a roll.
No, but Stallone's done it a few times.
Maybe Conan. Like, that'd be the Barbarian, definitely not the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Destroyers, this guy's just, like, punching through cinder blocks.
And he was
bare knuckle.
And he was wearing a Power Man Luke Cage thing on his head. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah. Now, I will say this entire scene here, this is well done, this montage, where it's just like, Zeus working out in like this like crazy lab. Meanwhile, the brother is slowly but surely recovering from his injuries, doing physical therapy. I mean, the whole contrast here is well done.
Yeah. One montage devoted to healing, the other to destroying.
God, but his pants just get worse and worse with every scene. He just had the zebra stripes. Now he's got the snake skin. Oh, man, his choice in tights is just getting progressively worse.
Now, it's actually funny because The suits are the only wardrobes that haven't aged in this one. The suits are universal.
Well, except for old girl's suit with the giant shoulders.
That's what I mean. The men's suits. The men's suits.
Yeah. Except for like all the double-breasted jackets. You really don't see double-breasted jackets being rocked as much anymore.
Nope.
Which is a shame. It
and
really
skinny
is.
ties. I loved skinny ties back in the day.
So like a big fat old tie so I could hide all my food stains. Oh, so the one event they actually book out a place for where to sell tickets is when Zeus fights Rip.
Yeah. Rip can't be seen in just some warehouse or smelting pit.
Right, he's not just a tough guy, he's a professional.
Mm-hmm. Look at the guy's face. Look at his training.
He's like, I don't know if you want to do that, Rip.
Oh my gosh. These tight shorts. But yeah, ladies back in the day.
This is like, man, that is the most 80s elevator I think I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's like light pink. Ooh.
Wait a minute here. Okay, so his friend got roughed up the same night that the brother got crippled.
Right.
And we've seen his brother going through physical therapy. That had to be weeks.
Oh, weeks.
Yeah, dude still has a scar on his face that should have been gone within a few days. His best friend, he's got this scar running down his cheek, this bruise.
Yeah.
It's not even a scar. It's like, shouldn't that be healed by now?
I don't think they're too interested in their continuity.
Sleaze. Yeah.
Oh, and it wouldn't be a third act 80s movie without someone's girlfriend being kidnapped.
Yeah. 80s corporate greed and sleaze. Look at that. Slimy.
Yeah, they're wearing tuxedos to a Battle of the Tough Guys event. Hey, Rip, I got your girlfriend. What you gonna do about it?
Call the
fight
police?
Zeus?
Gonna call the police.
Right, that's just what they should have done from the very beginning. Like, right after that dude, Rip got attacked in that limo, he should have been like, hello, police. Yeah, this movie executive tried to have me whacked by a bunch of hired hitmen.
Right.
Now, I was able to defeat them with my wrestling, but if any of them had a gun, it would have been game over.
Yes. Why they didn't have guns? One guy had a 2x4.
Yeah. Like something tells me.
Unprofessional.
Something tells me this city needs a better class of criminal because this TV boss doesn't have good hitmen.
No refs. Yeah. No rules. No refs.
I mean, unless he specifically gave them the orders to beat him to death with a bunch of random objects. Which, I mean, if that's the case, like, ooh, that's a personal way to have someone killed. Now, the one thing I will say is that WWF belt looks phenomenal on that white belt. Just like the color of it, the presentation of it. Like, it just looks good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was an action figure.
Oh, man, I'd get a Rip figure. Man, another great catchphrase that they could have had, get ripped. Like, get ripped, yeah.
I was thinking about that when you were talking about
rip him, like, it's just like the worst catchphrase ever, and it's on everything he owns.
Hey, I think the T-Rex is loose.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think those were the boots he had made.
He looks like a bad guy from a Power Rangers show.
He does.
Look at those shoulder pads.
Do you remember, you were a kid, the TV show American Gladiators?
Yeah.
That's what this...
Yeah, definitely.
At this point, that's what this is reminding.
Look at it. I like they found a costume that just accentuated how awkward and out his arms.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he just punches out the ring announcer. Oh, we're going to stare off here, brother.
He's just got no tolerance for anything. The mustache.
Who can look? Oh, and knees him right in the balls. Oh, delivers a backhand to him and Rip is down. He's going to take off that belt and he's going to whip him with it.
He's an animal.
Oh.
To the face. Look at that guy's laughing about it.
Oh, yeah. No. Choke him out with his own shirt. That's what's up.
You need your spinach now, man.
I feel like even now in this main event wrestling match that we've been building up for like, what, at least 30 minutes at this point?
Yeah.
40 minutes. like there's still not much wrestling going on.
No.
Like he just hits him, he'll kick him, but there's no body slams, there's no real holds besides maybe like a bear hug.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of street fight. What? Has she got hemorrhoids? Why is she making that face?
Oh, she just takes it in the gut. She's gonna try and sneak out.
Where's she gonna get the gun? Oh no.
Oh, that chokehold.
He's lifting Hulk Hogan in the air.
I feel like his unibrow got more inverted as like the time went on. Like it seems pointier. So maybe it's kind of like the Spider-Man eyes, you know what I mean?
Continuity. Didn't see where they were yesterday, so got to redraw them today.
Right. I feel like they were just using shoe grease with that.
The Hulk Hogan kick. What are the odds?
Man, I just can't wait to see what happens at the meeting with HR on Monday. It's like, wait, so you're telling me you sent a rapist after your employee and then you kidnapped her?
Yeah, there's some shady business practices here. If he did go to jail, forget it.
I feel like it's just been ingrained in their corporate culture at this point. Though I guess it was the 80s.
There's your pink elevator.
Damn deregulation. Yeah, it is the most 80s elevator imaginable. Like pink and purple squares.
Purple square. Outrun the elevator.
But like, how would they know what floor she's even going to?
Yeah, they're assuming she's going to the first floor where all the action is.
Now go to the second floor.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like,
and then take another staircase down. Look at that! Like,
sweat, oil.
It just both look like they're just like trying to pass that last constipated stool. It's just,
so many blood vessels were broken during this filming.
I just need to get it out, brother. Punching and punching and punching. No wrestling. What? Show me a suplex, please. This is a movie about wrestling, correct?
Correct, but when your main villain is not a wrestler, it makes it difficult.
Well, you know, Debo, he's an athletic guy. He's big. He's strong. You couldn't have sent him to a wrestling boot camp for like 3-4 weeks. Teach him all the basic moves.
Nah, what they did with the budget, they did not appropriate the budget correctly, because if they had appropriated the budget correctly, yeah, they could have spent time training him on such.
Oh, yeah.
But they were trying to get this movie out the door, strike while the iron was hot.
I don't think the iron should have ever been hot for a movie like this.
Look at it. Whenever Hulk Hogan gets at this point in his matches, it's like, that's like elder abuse. He looks like an old man getting beat up.
Even back then, he looked like an old man getting beat up. I would hate to see him do a match nowadays. Oh, man, I like how they just start deconstructing the ring. Look at this. He's literally pulling off a ring post, and he's going to put it through his forehead. Like, what a bloodlusty crowd.
Yeah, there's not even police there for security. That's when I think they would be breaking it up now. This is about to become a homicide.
I mean, isn't that Zeus's MO? Thriller or killer?
Yeah, he would be going right back to prison if he did this on live television.
He doesn't care. He wants revenge for no reason. Like, they don't really explain why Zeus hates this guy so much.
That's attempted murder.
Oh, he's going to snap his neck. Even though I don't believe there was any way that would snap someone's neck. As he's got his foot on his neck. Now the brother looked constipated.
Everybody. Oh, look at the fingers.
The finger's starting to move. All you got to do is win, Hulk, and your brother will walk again.
Spinach. He kicks an old man.
Debo don't care.
Oh, there go the lips.
Oh, blocks the kick. Hulkamania is about to run wild on you.
Oh, you puke-a-maniacs. He's got those Frankenstein boots on.
Right. Always remember Hogan. Or Hulkamania is only a grain of sand in the desert that is Macho Madness.
Yeah, you're great.
Oh, yeah. Slim Jims.
Oh, wow, look
Look
at
at
that.
how
That's
sweaty and just, oh, God, snarled he
There's
is.
nothing sexy about this.
No, I still don't see how Hulk Hogan was ever considered
A sex symbol?
a sex symbol, even in the 80s, man.
And it's funny because he hasn't changed. He
No.
really hasn't.
No, he's
Look at
still.
that. How psychotic looking can you get, Hulk? He went full Jack Nicholson there.
Oh, no. Nothing's going to hurt the Hulk. He's all beefed up now. And still, just more punches. Just punch and punch and punch.
Now he's punching himself. And the poor guy, nobody's helping the old black trainer over there.
No, they're just hanging around the dude who's comfortably in his wheelchair. I want to get revenge for my crippled brother. Something else I think was probably Hulk Hogan's input on. Oh, God, look how fake these punches are. Like look at the faraway shots.
I love that facing. Oh my gosh, man. One of the best comedies ever. One of the worst comedies.
Unintentional comedies. Oh, right there. Now, I like to think that Zeus and Debo are the same character. Like, you know,
I was just thinking that.
after this, he kind of gets disgraced.
He went to prison.
Went to
attempted
prison,
murder,
comes out.
goes back home.
I like how Debo is just like, or Zeus is just ascending and just attacking random people in the audience.
That always cracked me up. He just went after everybody. Like, you get out of the way, get out of the way. This goes out of the ring, up the stairs, into the studio.
Oh.
Here we go. Still with that belt buckle, excuse me. Oh, wow. Man,
Hogan's got to be defeated now.
that's a mighty big mass to come rolling down some steps. I'm glad I wasn't walking up the steps.
No, that'd take me down a notch or two. This is just so poorly put together.
You never do that.
Whoa, gonna pull him down.
Grab the bar. The music swells. Cheer on the Hulkster.
All this is on live TV.
Yeah, I think.
And I like how this guy just starts destroying all his own equipment. He's just so visibly upset. He's just going to start smashing all the computers. Oh, he's not even on live TV anymore. He just messed it up so they wouldn't be. But you think he's the CEO of a television company. You think you know how to like press one button so it's not on anymore instead of destroying all his own equipment.
Look at him. Oh, just
No.
laughing. Okay, here comes the axe.
Yeah, you're going to hit him with the double axe handle.
Right in the forehead. No.
And he's going to fall down and through the mat. This is the best part. Boom.
He left an impression.
Ba-dum-bum.
99. Oh, a little bit of blood.
Now Hogan's going to turn his attention on the evil CEO. And I love how, like, the crowd, even though they're not privy to what's been going on, is still all about it. Like, they just want Rip to attack this CEO and kill this guy.
Well, they know the TV public feud. Look at his hair.
Oh, he electrocutes himself.
He did it to himself. Oy, 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 oy.
And this is such a bloodthirsty crowd because, like, they're just watching this guy get electrocuted to death in front of them, and they're still going to cheer for it afterwards.
The running man was right.
Oh, slowly but surely, we're making our way there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just love him. Yeah, he might have just murdered 2 guys in cold blood, but we love Rip.
All right. Tell us to hang loose, Rip.
Oh, yeah, you know that's going to be the closing still. There it is! There it is! It's not even a full hang loose.
And he was nowhere near as sweaty as he was just a few minutes ago. You notice the 2 toadies got off scot-free.
Yeah, they were able to dip out on that just in time. Man, so overall, probably the thing I like the most about this movie is that it's not even an hour and a half long. Like, it's probably, maybe an hour and 15, hour and 18. Like, I feel like we just started this movie and it's already over. And you know what? I'm glad it's over because I wouldn't want to watch another minute of this movie.
I'm hurting from laughing, but at the same time, it's like, it's not the kind of laugh that movie's hilarious. I want to see it again.
Yeah, no, it's more of a laugh this movie is just so bad. How did they get the money to make this? I really hope Vince McMahon didn't split the entire bill on this one. So overall, what's your impression out of a 10 scale on this one?
This is my 3rd time seeing it in my life. I don't know when there's going to be a 4th. I'm not in a hurry to make a 4th. It's got things in it that are fun to revisit mentally. Clips that might be fun to laugh about, but overall, oh no.
Yeah, I think I would much rather watch just that one limousine clip, on YouTube as opposed to actually sitting through the first 20 minutes of this movie just to get to the one scene that's redeemable about it. Because it's got a lot of the buttons that you want to press given the era that it was made in. You want a big oiled up muscly dude. You want a bunch of fights. You want a bad guy that with very, very vague motivations. And none about it works. None of them really strikes you as being nothing about it really strikes you as working with what they're trying to go with in this movie.
No.
Like, a lot of it just seems kind of awkward and out of place. Like the whole subplot with him and the chick, nothing about that seems.
That never paid off. They
No.
never had a love scene.
No.
They had flirt scenes, but
Well, I mean, chick almost got raped. That was as close as we got.
she offered support, but it's like, so does that technically make them good friends, or what is that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would say probably. I'd say probably on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this movie a 2.
Yeah, I'll agree there.
Maybe a 1.5, because it introduced the wider audience to Hulk Hogan. Is more or less what this movie was intended to do. And at the end of the day, this was never really intended to be a successful movie. This was just about getting Hulk Hogan's name into a wider audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Marketing for it.
Because, looking back at it, just the promotional stuff that they did with the WWE after this movie came out was so much better than the actual movie itself.
Yeah.
Just that tag match with Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus Zeus and Macho Man. Yeah. Those were classic matches. And I'm glad that his character really didn't take off. And just another thing, if they were planning on him going into the WWE after this movie to do, a 2-month run, how would you not have him still take wrestling lessons? Like, it makes absolutely no sense. But a lot of choices around why you'd make a movie like this makes no sense. So that was No Holds Barred. Probably the worst movie in Hulk Hogan's filmography, which is saying a lot. All right, and this was This Movie Sucks, the podcast where we watch bad movies so you don't have to. And this was No Holds Barred. We will see you folks next week because we are out of here.
You only learn the way you are inside when life gives you the test. Will you back down, turn and run, or stand up with the best?